Well, this is a very clandestine sort of meeting, huh? This pilot's like, hey, I've got some really questionable goods I had to land during this firestorm. What you got, Scout? Hello everyone, Thranks is here, and welcome back to No Man's Sky, where we've done a little bit of stuff off camera, actually trying to create the latest beginner video that we wanted to put out. Hopefully it's helping some people and doing okay, even if it is a little kind of based around the early game. I don't know how many people are still playing the early game, but hopefully it helps somebody. I did go ahead and do a little bit more off camera than that, though. I've organized my inventory a little differently. As you can see here, we've cleared out actually a third row because I have moved some things to my cargo spot and other things to my starship. There's no point in having this much inventory space going to waste on the Wanderlust after all, so we're going to start using it. We also did get a cargo bulkhead from our little showcase of how derelict freighters work, and so we're going to go ahead and install that right now, actually. That is not the right tab. Let's see. We would like additional storage, please. Right here in the technology spot. Boom. Okay, very good. I don't know how many more of those we need. I don't know if it goes 3 or if it's going to be another 7 after that. Gosh, if it's another 7 after that, I hope so. That would be just amazing. We'd get so many upgrades. And we actually do need to go and obtain some more upgrades. I don't think the fleet is out right now, but really I'm anxious to get to exploration. I know that's maybe not the best way to handle it, but that's okay. Most of the time the fleets come back and most of the stuff I just straight sell anymore anyways. We do need to give the Nightmare in Space some love, but since this is a Crimson Stellar solar system, we're going to stick with the Wanderlust for now. Okay, so last episode we explored Casa Sigma, an unusual radioactive planet with a really neat ocean. And this time I think we're going to go to... let's see what's in front of us here. A fully unknown, undiscovered planet. I accept these terms. With activated cadmium, a fiery planet. Oh boy. And this one will actually get to name. That's nice. My naming fingers have been a little idle lately, not beginning to name these planets that are undiscovered but really discovered prior to origins. So, oof. Large mountains. Whoa, fiery is right. This isn't an active storm, though, is it? Okay, hold on. These are just pretty intense mountains here. Let's... you know what? Is this a active firestorm going on? I'm not entirely sure. It must be, right? Look at the terrain. Oh yeah, so it's got to be that a storm was just rolling in right as we entered it. Yeah, here you can see the active storm crystals actually. Let's go ahead and land on this. Burning gas clouds is the weather listed. Oh, the entire surface of this mountain is just igniting now. Okay. This one has some of the more traditional fiery flora that we've seen. You know, I don't want to scan those while the storm crystals are out. I would really rather grab the storm crystals. I feel like the warp hyperfuel cells that you make with storm crystals are actually a little more valuable now, because one warp cell no longer fills up your freighter's warp drive. We will scan fauna, though. We're never going to pass up scanned fauna. Wow, 3 of them already on the top of this mountain. It is quite an extreme storm. The terrain here is fairly interesting. These aren't steep cliffed plateaus, and they don't necessarily jut all the way up to the top of the stratosphere, like leveling out at the bottom of the clouds. That peak looks relatively high, though. This follows more of like a natural mountain range. And I think the truth is we're just going to... Oh, you can change the cloud level. Well, no, I don't... I just want a shot of, you know, the purgatory that's happening in front of us. The terrain looks so rocky and barren at a distance. I guess it's nothing... Oh, look at this unusual... Hold on. Look at these. I know, I've seen people mention that I have this unusual attraction to these storm crystals, but I can't justify not collecting them. I think it's the artificial scarcity that's created, where it creates this mentality of like, oh look, they're not going to be around for that long. They're only going to be out for a limited time. A single lone storm crystal. That's a fairly unusual one. Oof. Yeah, I'll say extreme heat damage detected. We're literally standing in the fire. Whoa, whoa! Fire everywhere! Oh, they weren't kidding. These burning gas clouds are rather intense. Alright, storm's clearing. Now we'll get to see a little bit of how this planet normally appears while it's not literally on fire. Nutrient source heat recycling. Well, I suppose that's going to make sense given the nature of the heat. This is an unusual plant, huh? For air leaching? Okay. Carnivorous roots with a calming scent. High surface temperature. That mineral reports a high surface temperature. Do you think? Ooh, look at that. Now, I just want to say, like... I feel like we're not appropriately capturing the magnitude of this terrain. Oh, that's a neat shot. Is the sun setting? Oh, it is. Yeah, I think there's a picture in there somewhere, but... We don't take a lot of jetpack shots. That's kind of a new one. But I wish the time was just a little bit ago. Yeah. Okay, well hold on. There is a... Yup. We don't pass up buried technology that's just hovering above the ground. Alright. I think we can be done with this damaged machinery. I thought I saw a damaged machinery down here, but maybe not. Oof. Yeah, it's hard to get the scope of these mountains. To really appreciate them, it's tough. I guess we'll scan some of these minerals. Gas humidity. It's formed from pyroclastic forces. So, near as I can tell, this planet was high pressure, shatter resistant. In all likelihood, this planet was incredibly molten recently and has only just started to cool. And that cooling has obviously given it some off-gassing of things in the atmosphere that are trapping the heat. See, look at these, too. These rocks here are almost still quasi-molten. Or no, this is registering as a plant on the scanner. With unstable fruit. This has got to be some sort of unusual fusion of mineral and plant, like the two have formed a symbiotic relationship. Even in the shadow, the planet's own shadow after the sun has set, the surface continues to ignite. Sparks and embers are seen pretty much everywhere. Yeah. Alright, well, let's see what we get here. Light brings power, darkness brings resilience. Light brings power, darkness brings resilience. Well, that's pretty straightforward, right? The body of a gill blob creature materializes on the surface of the rock. It is an ancient sacrifice, impaled through its wide-open eyes with metal spears. Liquid is dripping from the body down the monolith through a channel cut into the rock by ancient hands. It can be diverted towards two carvings, one of a sun, the other of a moon. I think we're either talking about power or resilience. I'll go with power, honestly. The sun swells as the sacrificial liquid pours into it. Its light grows brighter and brighter until my vision is nothing but its bright white light. I blink and the vision is over. Technology module sits where the sun once shone. More than anything, I enjoy learning the Atlas words. And no technology module was given. They have deceived us. So we've started just kind of smashing up these salvage data for nanites because we have 60 of them back in storage, and I don't think we're going to need more than that. Honestly, I don't think that's going to be a thing. Whoa, is it on fire inside this cave? Okay, but oh, we've got some kind of burrowing creature. Hold on. Okay, this is kind of a fun cave. I like these unusual little plants here. From fermented corpses. Okay, obviously there's a lot of bodies that crawled into the cave to get out of the heat and then died. Okay, pretty steep cut into the side of this mountain. Oh, what have we there? Organic rock. I think that generally ends up being mortite or chlorine. This looks like this one's going to be some kind of chlorine. Yeah, chlorine. We've got enough pool chemicals to last us a while. You know what? We haven't done enough of these buried caches. I think we should maybe try to check some of these out. Gosh, like I said, even in the night sky, the planet still smolders. I think it's interesting that flora has grown on the surface of this planet so quickly after its molten event. Okay, so let's look at this for a minute. A fragment of discovered data from planet Nepholda Minor concerning local minerals. It's marked as having been collected by a local Gek explorer. Nepholda Minor. But that's not necessarily a planet in this system, right? I mean, technically it could be here. But how do we know? So it's just some random discovery somewhere. Worth about 40 nanites. Not seeing a lot of fauna out at night. We must have mostly diurnal species here. Always active, always active, always active. Found in the south, flying diurnal, flying always active. Found in the south. Okay, well, as we've learned in past planets, the terrain generation can be significantly different from hemisphere to hemisphere, so I think it's time we head to the south and see if maybe the less mountainous region is going to provide us more opportunities to find some fauna. Generally, the fauna tend to congregate on the flatter sections of the planets anyways, and yeah, it does definitely look like to the south is a big flat area, so let's punch out of the atmosphere and maybe get a good southerly heading here on the planet as we pulse jump around it. And then I think pulse jump right over here where we're kind of looking at the sun for a moment. Okay, still a little mountainous, still heading south. We haven't crossed the threshold of the South Pole yet. So I think it's safe to say at this point we will chase the sun into the morning sunrise and see if we're looking north or south. Still a little south. Relatively interesting flat areas cutting through the mountains here. So it looks like this planet is distinctly broken up into some sort of mountain range system. Can't miss a sunrise over the mountains. Another wall of flame detected. Wow, they don't miss any opportunity to really get in there and scorch this planet. Although we are on the day side, so. Alright, let's punch this direction here a little bit, just a little bit, and then we'll break back down through the wall of smoke forming over the planet. We'll just find a nice, relatively flat spot to land. Okay, it still says we're heading to the south. I gotta believe we're near the South Pole or region, maybe? Because maybe. We did pulse jump quite a ways away. Let's just land down here in this little flat area. Definitely just a roaring blaze happening on the surface of this planet. I hear, there we go. Says it's intelligent. Eats dihydrogen crystals. Okay. I don't understand that evolutionary process. I suppose if dihydrogen crystals have a prevalence on the planet, it would make sense that eventually some creature somewhere would utilize them in their metabolic system, but, I mean, come on. That's... I suppose it would have to be some kind of, like, ancient evolutionary trait that just got passed on because there wasn't a mutation better to replace it. A landed pilot? What? I see no landed pilot. Oh! Get out of the way! And maybe you will see a landed pilot. Well, this is a very clandestine sort of meeting, huh? This pilot's like, hey, I've got some really questionable goods I had to land during this firestorm. What you got? Scout Kinhu? Pathetic interloper or brave warrior? Something of freedom. Well, I'm sure your starship is garbage. Yeah. So instead, let me see what you're selling. Right. So this is where we get into those black market modules. I've been told that these can stack, potentially, with other modules greater than 3, so I think it's time we explore that a little bit. Let's buy a couple of these scanner modules. I think that's fun. Yeah, a couple of mining beam modules. I think that's also fun. Hazard protection, I don't necessarily want. Shield modules we don't really need. Life support modules we don't really want. This is interesting, right? So we can go hyperdrive, pulse engine, and then I think that's good, actually. I think that's really good, and I'm relatively glad we had the nanites for that. Look at this creature. I think we just... No! No, don't do it! Yeah, the other one was better. That's okay, I think we still try to give it its due here. It's a magnificent beast. Fairly large. I was trying to get a scale comparison. Oh, there was something running behind it. Like something running fast. Oh no, it's one of the tall bipedal creatures. Okay, hold on. We have some underground burrowers here. Always foraging, eats stinging leaves. Well, there's plenty of those around. Okay, so the real question is, where are we sitting at with fauna? We have rare ground, always active, found in the south, and another flyer that's always active. I am seeing a lot of fauna spawn in this flat area here. However, it's possible we're not far enough south for... Oh, hold on. We have our second flying species. Long-sighted. It's true. We have picked up other missions. Actually, that creature was kind of interesting. Look at this. Okay, that's kind of unusual, actually. Their eyes have evolved to scan the horizon. What eyes? Their eyes have evolved to scan the horizon, able to pick out movement at vast distances. Up close, however, they are entirely unable to focus. Filtering gills inside their cheeks allow them to suck up water and extract nutrients from algal blooms. Cannot drown. What? Water? I would like to refine my hypothesis about this planet, if that is possible. Can I retroject my statement from earlier and say that perhaps this planet had vast oceans and suffered a large impact? Not quite an extinction level event, but enough to radically heat up and vaporize most of the moisture on the planet. Perhaps that species is in decline and will soon be extinct. Or perhaps there are very, very tiny pockets of moisture somewhere still hidden on the planet or in deep caves. I don't think we're far enough south. I'm just going to throw that out there. Okay, well then. Let's call the Wanderlust over here. Okay, so let's tinker around with these black market upgrades a little bit, because I was told that it's possible they don't interact with other normal modules as far as canceling each other out when you have more than 3. Now, that seems a little overpowered to me, but I'm willing to try it. No, in fact, they do cancel each other out, but it turns out some of them can be quite good. Yeah, so it says technology overloaded. Fauna 7, fauna 8, 7, 7. So if the fauna was better, we'd keep it. Since we know... Oh, this is a tough call. So do we try to install them anyways and hopefully get them better? 208, 232. Like if I do this warp engine... Ugh, 168. Yeah, I think we pretty much just need to let them go. I thought it was a little too good to be true that these wouldn't interact, but apparently yes. So the black market upgrades do in fact count the same as your normal upgrades. It was hinted in the comments, I think, that that wasn't the case, but it turns out that would just be a little overpowered. Which is fine. We'll be able to sell these back. We didn't necessarily need the nanites. We're actually doing fairly well in nanites from all of the various nanite gathering I did during the last beginner help video. I like the deep crimson sunsets we get on this planet. Those are pretty fun. So I think we aim to the south and we just keep pushing. Because I'm not sure if they just mean the southern hemisphere or... Oof, that's a pretty big mountain. Well, we definitely crossed the South Pole, but how far in the southern hemisphere they want us to go, I'm not sure. I believe this species is always active, yeah. So let's settle down here on a nice flat location. And see if we can make contact before it's time to leave. I will always definitely stop for this buried machinery. Or damaged machinery. Not the buried technology underneath it. Because really what I'm hoping for is like a S-class module. Yes! Just like that. Just like that. Oh my gosh. The frequency of the storms on this planet are phenomenal. It's constantly on fire. The Viking word for time. The only thing is, I don't see a lot of creatures spawning down here. So then there's that. We do always collect rusts. No, no, no. You saw nothing. You see nothing. We are getting some fauna readings. However, nothing undiscovered to this point. Calcium secretion, high surface temperature. There was definitely some cataclysmic change to this planet at some point, whether it was a molten planet that settled out or a planet with regular moisture that was hit by a large terrestrial body from space. I don't think we'll fully know. And that could just be because the constant firestorms and rugged terrain are just going to hide whatever secrets are here on this planet. Gosh, at night the smoke is really thick. It gets really difficult to see. If I don't remember to put an exocraft summoning station on on the Relentless after this planet, I'm gonna be really upset with myself. I do miss riding our... Oh, there it is. I do miss riding our motorcycle up and down the mountains. Easily startled, eats solar vine. Okay, well, we'll take the nanites. Oh, yeah. Their muscles are held in a state of constant tension, ready to flee at the smallest sign of danger. Gut analysis reveals a diet consisting almost entirely of solar vine. They have a matriarchal society. Very interesting tale. Can we watch your little, like, oh, they're sniffing the ground. Okay. Well, I think we'll go ahead and... Oh, yeah, they are. They're kind of hiding at the far end of this crater. Here's another one. Go ahead, we'll call the Wanderlust over here and grab this last bit of damaged machinery. Living slime we take. That is a refining the nanites situation there. Which we're still stacking up. Okay. I think at this point we don't need any more fireberry. And I think a relatively good name for this planet is going to be Incendios. We're getting a little creative with the spelling. See, that's a little far away. That's a little far away. Maybe just Conflagor, sure, that sounds good. We're gonna... The more and more we name planets and systems, the more and more I'm going to start running out of ideas. But we're going to do our best, I promise. And from there, I'm about to go build an exocraft summoning station on the Relentless before we get ready for the next planet in the system. I do hope you've had a good time watching, because as always, I've had a good time playing. Thank you so much for joining me. Until the next feed, where we get on to the next planet, take care.